Hey guys, welcome back. It's grimreaper coming at you for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Hopefully you're doing well and hopefully you're having a great week. We're nearly at the weekend, right? So normally time ready for a couple of beers for the weekend. And future's nearly done, I suppose, for a lot of us. I think we've got I've still got to do dragons and the divers and stuff like that. I wonder what you guys are planning to do for the weekend with the summon event. I didn't do the one in the week. Complete skipped it. Didn't need to do it. I'm gonna summon a couple of these, and I'm gonna get the second prism from the dungeon diver. So I'll be saving the prisms and trying to get my third one of this and try and save my void shards if I'm honest. Because I'm trying to still save for like guaranteed events and stuff like that. So that's one thing I'm kind of looking into doing with my shards, stuff like that. All of these are free to play. I've just been really stingy over them for the past couple of months or so. So yeah, that's a juicy one from there. Okay, cool. So let's get into today's video. I did want to kind of comment on a underrated, undervalued nuker, who is actually now with empowerment, is a, I'd say, top tier nuker for like epic point of view, and actually offers you some counters in live arena. And I'm obviously talking about Fenix. I think Fenix here, it counters one of the most meta champions in the game right now, and that's going to be Song Wong. This is the monkey. The monkey's so damn squishy. If Fenix is built properly enough and is always going to go first, then you can really do some damage. And obviously, if you ban one nuker and then they only have like monkey, for example, second, and you kill them with Fenix or block revive, then it's very handy. This guy is also very good in faction wars, Curse City, and Doom Tower content, mainly for like some bosses. For faction wars, it's really good against a boss for the faction wars, because the boss revives, so he puts down the boss, the block revive on ads, stop the boss reviving. It also brings the block buffs, because when he can't revive, they put up block damage, and I think it's block debuffs as well. I haven't done that boss in like 2 years, by the way, and I still remember what the boss does, or half of what it does anyway. So this guy is fantastic. Obviously, I used him back in the day for faction wars, so I'm talking from experience from that point of view. And he is definitely one of the first nuker I would probably be taking in faction wars. For Doom Tower, there is a couple of ways where there is a couple of revivers. So block revive is always pretty juicy. If you have like ally attack, that could be very, very effective. There's a couple of bosses as well in dungeons, like Ice Golem, where you can put the ads down with the block revive, which is pretty useful, especially in normal and stuff like that. Cursey, there's a couple of flaws in Soul Cross where he is used and very effective as well. So there's obviously that. And then he has this ability we don't really use too much. Obviously, like decreased speed and defense down is pretty useful on a boss. But again, I don't really use this ability too much. It's mainly this ability and this one for arena and for live arena. So he's a very, very solid champion. We're going to show you today on how solid he is. I've got him in probably one of my best gear for my account. So we've definitely juiced him up. He's a +3 and a 4-star fully awakened. So it's not the world's strongest Fenix, but he's definitely up there as a contender. And then he has base attack of 1,454 and base speed of 96 and critical damage of 60. So very average stats as a epic. They are quite juicy indeed. And then defense is actually really, really low. Let's go take him into Dragon then, and let's show you the damage from his A1 and A2 and A3 for that. So let's pop into Dragon. So we are on Dragon 25 here. On normal, we're going to go against the Force Affinity one, and then we're just going to see on what it's like. So we're going to do increase attack. We're going to do the defense down here. We've got defense down on pretty much everyone. There's a couple of hexer, because my Lydia is also in hex, so that will also give a little bit more damage as well. He does have AoE here. Attack has a 75% chance of putting block debuffs, and then block tap to skills as well. And then he has some type of thing going on here with bombs, but I've never really tested it that much, so I don't really recommend using that second part of the kit. We're gonna target, let's put on 1x speed. Let's target this dude. I suppose we're gonna target everyone. That was around about 150, 140, I think. I just missed them numbers just there. Okay, cool. I will watch that back in a second. I'm pretty sure it was about 130 or something like that. And then let's do the A1. It's a double. This will hit. Attacks one enemy. Place an extra hit if this target has any debuffs on them. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. So it will hit 2 times this character. That is 110. Sorry, 101 to 132. So that's pretty juicy. That is big numbers indeed. And let's have a look at the A3. Like so. Let's take off the 2x speed for a second. Let's have a look. This one's like a single hit. This will put defense down and decrease speed for 2 turns. 270. That's not actually that bad. I didn't think it hit that hard. I just want to see the AoE again. See what numbers we've got. I didn't see the numbers. I think the AoE, I do feel like the AoE hits pretty hard. Obviously, feel and seeing is 2 different things. Yeah, 160, right? Damn. So it's a big boy nuke. Damn, it's pretty juicy. Anyway, let's take him into the arena. This is where we really want to see him and how effective he is. There is some big numbers coming in here. Okay, so he's the main counter to him is obviously strong affinity. We're gonna take him mainly against Monkey because Monkey is so meta. He is like the perfect target to come in. We actually have Lady M coming in. See if he's just the fastest champion. That can be replaced with any, depending on the speedish, fastest champion on your account. And a lot of people have him, but you can also use lockout in that aspect. But we are going to use ally attack, and obviously ally attack on Lady M brings increased attack and critical damage. Is it, or is it critical damage? Yeah, critical damage and increased attack, which is pretty useful. You can use any ally attack you got. I do recommend using ally attack with him because you can pop off the A1 quite fast on that nuker, and you can run him slightly slower than if you got your CC champion faster. Now this is a gold 5 or probably like a live arena further down. I'd say like gold 1 and below strategy. And I would probably also recommend you doing this actually in 3 versus 3, especially if you're short on nukers. Fennecs can definitely do some damage and stuff like that, which is very useful. And I feel like a lot of us would have Fennecs, maybe not a blessing, but if you can get a fully awakened, even if he's not empowered, if he's fully awakened, he definitely gonna unlock some potential. The level 2 obviously gives you the increased attack from the extra attack on the blessing, and then you could then want the level 5 and 6 for extra. Sorry, level 4 and 6. So 4 is the critical damage, and then the 6 would be the extra speed. So we're going to do the A1 here on Lady M. You'll see here, pop. We actually killed Monkey before we made it, so that's something you could look at for the turn order. I'm actually just going to pop him off quickly with the A1. So 182, pretty big numbers. 182 is very juicy. And then we're going to flip round with Lady M, and then we're going to come in with the AoE stun. Just play it safe. There's no rush. Rome wasn't built in one day. So let's go in. We've got 2 weak affinities here for Fennecs to deal with. He has got increased attack still. Let's see the damage he does on this. 125 is not bad at all. It's not shabby. We got a weak hit there on Ronda, so that is one thing to kind of look at. So there we are, pretty juicy. UDK, right? UDK on Monkey is a absolute nightmare for a lot of us. Again, ally attack really helps you to get around UDK, which is what I kind of like about this kind of strategy. And if, to be honest, if I didn't have a lot of nukers, like a lot of god tier nukers, legendary wise, I think Fenix would be one of my first nukers on the team sheet, if I'm honest, because like just from that, I think him and Gala would be someone I'd probably look into. So we've been a little bit unlucky there with that. We had reaction proc there, and then we're gonna just go like in like so. We've got the ally attack again already. There's the block revive. So monkeys, that's squishy, yeah. And then we're gonna try and get the block revive again on. So we can see that he's got Duchess there. Obviously, if we can get a weaken out, that'd be pretty juicy. So you'll see here, we've got one hit, pop, pop. Because there's a debuff that gives him an extra turn. So you do need to have like something there. We had the weaken on Arb, so he was able to get the 2 hits in, not just the 1. So it's pretty effective. If you don't put the weaken on, he'll just hit UDK, and that's about it, right? So we actually have a Hedgie here, which is pretty interesting. Hedgie can definitely cause us some issues if we're not careful. So we're gonna come in like this. We're bringing a Warlord. We're gonna bring in a Necrit, and then hopefully we survive the damage coming in from Taurus. So Taurus is a interesting one, obviously very, very OP as a nuker. It definitely cause you some issues if you're not careful. We're gonna go ahead and sleep him, and then we're gonna do AoE lockout. Obviously, Necrid is a top tier ally attack champion for pretty much any person that you have. And then I think we'll come in with the AoE. We just went straight through bolster, no increase attack needed. And that is the damage of Fenix. Just went straight through the bolster. Like it was pretty much not anything. Obviously, not the biggest bolsters of going. We don't ignore shield or anything, unfortunately, on them abilities, but that was pretty juicy. And then you're going to come in here. We still don't have the ally attack available. We're just going to have to wait on that. We're going to try and take him out. First hit, 100k. And then we can just pick him off. We don't need to worry about ARP because he can't revive. We're then going to try and take out Taurus. We didn't have no debuffs out on him then, so we only got the 1 hit, which is a bit meh, is what it is. 95k there. Coming with the lockout again, increase speed again, and then you're gonna hit auto, and there is a Taurus dealt with pretty easily. Obviously, it's a bit easier with a Stone Skin Warlord, etc. And I kind of know what I'm doing for Arena, so it's one of their ones. So we have Monkey again. This team only really wins if he is faster than me, right? If he's faster than me, obviously it's very difficult for me to kind of pull it back without some type of like bolster or anything like that. But again, we are super, super fast. So just dependent on your gear and stuff like that and how fast you are. But the minute you kind of just deal with the reviver and stuff, then that's something to kind of look into. You can also, I've noticed, you can break through Stone Skin for the block revive as well, which is something that's a bit interesting. So I'm not too sure. Hits there, so you notice he hits the sheep and then hits him again. So it's like a double hit. So it's like it's treating sheep as a debuff. I suppose it is a debuff of some sort. Maybe it's coded wrong or something. I don't know. Let me down in the comments about that one. It's kind of an interesting one to see, and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead to do that. 162 on the A2 there. Again, packing a punch for sure. I think we'll go ahead and take on a couple more fights. I would like to try to take out the mythicals, but I think that's us trying to push our luck a bit too much. And mythicals is a whole new different type of breed. So we've got full stone skin team here. So I'm actually going to go in and just sheep them straight off the bat. And then try and get block revive here. We can. There's the block revive. We actually did get a sleep out as well from Seafy, so that kind of helps as well. And then we're just going to go ahead and just drop the turn meter. And we're going to strip in a second with Lady M. I'm going to go ahead and just do the A1. I don't want him doing anything dodgy. I still press auto. And I think we'll sleep here. Try to stop him doing anything that we need him to do. To slow down his fight. We don't want to slow down his fight. But stun out. We just do the AoE. 144 there. Even his A2 is slapping like a ton of bricks. Which is very, very nice to see. Obviously as well, actually, this is something that you can kind of do against Sigford, which I shouldn't show you this, but I'm going to show you, right? Because it's kind of a bit interesting, right? You can purposely stop Sigford hitting you hard. This is like a Sigford counter. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Sigford. I have Sigford myself. So I actually know how to use Sigford quite successfully. My win rate against Sigford in like live arena is actually very, very high. Because I just know how to counter him. So we're going to start off. We're going to do the block revive here. That's one. And then you can probably use this against any one. I suppose Sigford's is like the main strategy for this because of how do I say it? As a reviver, right? He's the only one that metamorphs as the revive. So we're kind of just looking into this. I'll show you what I mean. So we're gonna kill everyone, and then you purposely make Sigford metamorph. So you put then on the cooldown of the metamorph, so then he can't nuke you, right? So if you go before Sigford, you do block revive with everyone, and E3 is very good for this. And yeah, you can kind of counter Sigford like this, and then he just metamorph straight away. So if you don't want to take on Sigford, block revive everyone. Obviously, you're going to need to go before that to try and do it. But then, like when you try and we'll just let him try revive. Obviously, he ain't going to be able to revive. Let's like we'll go before him. And stuff like that. So he didn't actually try revive because he knows everyone's dead. So it's quite funny actually that you have Sigford, you can counter him very easily with block revive because he can't revive anyone. So normally with Sigford, I would always say leave someone with him alive, like sheep someone, like I always like sheep monkey or something, and then I'll go kill Sigford to stop him metamorphing and reviving the whole team. But if you got block revive, well, guess what? He ain't reviving anyone, sweetheart. You know what I mean? So that's one thing to kind of look at. We'll take one more team on here. I'm actually quite enjoying Fenix as a interesting kind of option. I think you could generally use him on Platinum Arena offensively against certain teams, especially if they're running Monkey as well. Like if they're running Monkey, I think this is definitely a very viable strategy. As you can probably call him the Monkey Killer, right? Because he's quite effective on what he does. And he hits very, very hard. So yeah, super, super cool. Nuka. Let's go ahead and check out his build and masteries and blessings, etc, etc. Alright, so here is my Fenix build. You're going to come in with a 6-piece Merciless. This will give you 35 ignore defense. Now, if you don't have Merciless, that's perfectly fine. You could come in with Savage and Cruel or Lethal or Cruel. Make sure you take some type of ignore defense, even Instinct if you are a newer player. And if you don't have, like, if you just join Raid and you get Fenix, and you've got like your dungeons and stuff sorted, and you're looking for some type of nuker, Fenix can definitely do a option. But Germany, before you go and 6-star your Fennecs, please go and ask someone what they know what they're doing. And generally, like someone's community, like a big streamer or someone like that know what they're doing, credible advice and so on and stuff like that before you go and 6-star him. But if generally, if you're stuck in a pot where you don't have anyone, then you could 6-star Fennecs. But obviously, you can also use your nuker that you use from one of the 4 logins, like Elaine and Kale, as your nuker. But Fennecs could then also be a second option as a someone that's against different affinities when you couldn't use them. Okay, so that's the first of all, when you're early in mid game, just kind of think about that. Go and get some advice if you are watching this and stuff like that. So let's get some. We've got some speed, critical rate. We've got some attack, critical rate, and speed percentage and stuff like that. We've got critical rate and critical damage again. We've got critical damage on the gloves again. If you're a newer player, you're going to go with critical rate. We've got attack chest with attack sended, and we've got attack boots as well. And then for here, we're going to have the attack percentage with the critical damage, and then the attack as well. Here, I do need to read all of this because that's something we'll kind of need to look into. So the stats then, we've got 339 critical damage, 101 critical rate, 191 for speed, and then for attack, we have 7,891. Now for live arena, you will need to run a minimum of speed of like 220, 230 for him. If you can also get like Savage and then 1x Stone Skin build with ally attack, that would also be pretty strong for live arena. So that's something you can kind of look into. And then especially if you have the Stone Skin accessories, refresh as well, or reaction will also be pretty strong on him. He is pretty squishy, so that's something to take into consideration. 190 speed is perfectly fine for classic arena, for gold 5 and 3 vs 3 arena, especially if you use a CC like lockout or something like that, as well as ally attack. Make sure you take increased attack as well. That is going to be really, really important. So that is it from the stats there. For me, the blessing has to be harvest cast. So we've got Sifu, which brings me 3 buffs, and then we're going to use Lady M to bring me 2 more, which should increase attack and increase critical damage. So that gives me the 5 buffs there. So as a 4-star blessing, that's going to bring me 5% extra damage. It's 1% damage for each blessing. So, and then the 5-star is obviously 1.5, and then a 6 would give me a 10% extra damage. And then you can look at the masteries as well, and you can try and juice these masteries up even more to give you more damage. So we've got Shield Breaker. So we really want to take Shield Breaker for arena nukers. That's really, really important. Ruthless Ambush, Cycle of Violence, because he hits like a truck. So this will be really consistent as well. Now I'm taking Optimus because we're using the Barbarian, who has the AoE stun. We're also using Lady M, who has AoE stun as well. So it does give me a 12% extra damage, which is really, really juicy. And then obviously basically the other ones. Now Retribution is probably better with like the Stone Skin version build. I don't actually have that Stone Skin available, so that's one thing that you can kind of do as well. I wouldn't really take support unless you was building for like more like faction wars or for like dungeons or anything like that, what you need the block boss for as well, and stuff like that. So yeah, really, really cool nuker, and a really, really top tier nuker for a epic. Is he S tier? No, obviously he's epic in a day and stuff like that, but again, has really good multipliers, and for me it's definitely worth the food. So that's it. There is Grim Reaper's showcase on a Fennecs. I've been looking forward to do this for a while, and I'm really happy to get to it today. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been Grim Reaper. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.